Nothing succeeds like a well-planned, well-executed succession strategy for the growth and sustainable development for any organization, be it COVID or non-COVID situation. If this intervention or initiative is so critical, then why do the organization keep on postponing it, making this intervention or initiative as their low priority initiative? They keep on ignoring it. They keep on saying, not this year we can go for this initiative. This is not the right time for us. And then, guess what happens? One fine day, Mr. Critical Talent leaves. And there's a chaos in the organization. CEO calls, or the board of directors, shareholder calls, we need the immediate replacement of this person. And CHRO hunts for Mr. Right consultant. Mr. Right consultant hires the Mr. Right fit for this so-called talent. And then what happens? Next 6 months to a 1 year to 1.5 years, rather than becoming extremely productive part of that critical role, this person leaves an extremely negative impact on an organization. This negative impact continues even after the person leaves for many years. What a damage! Who's responsible for these damage? You, me, the CEO, the CHRO, the board of directors, shareholders, or Mr. Talent, or Mr. Critical Talent, or the Mr. Right consulting company? Let's find out. Succession strategy has always been said as the lowest priority area for organization, until unless some of the organizations, they have given that their critical strategy as the succession strategy. And guess what happens if the succession plan does not get a priority in the business strategy? Majority of the time it leads to hiring of the external talent. It's not that all the external talents will be bad and they are not productive, but majority of the cases we have seen that hiring of the external talent leads to a huge negative impact in an organization. We have seen that I have done a lot of succession strategy, implementation, execution as the internal team to lead this initiative, or as an external consultant, I have designed the strategy of succession for an organization sitting along with the board of directors, CEOs, and I've seen that those organizations, they implement and execute the succession strategy, they grow sustainably. We have come out with very interesting toolkit, and if you are trying to implement and execute succession strategy, and today we're going to talk about extremely unique succession strategy that's called a succession loop strategy, and we have developed a very unique toolkit for this strategy. And if you want to do it yourself, this succession loop strategy, you are most welcome. You can connect to us. And also we have recently started, this is going to be our 6th or 7th batch, our succession strategy certification program. In case if you're starting or planning to start to execute a succession strategy in your organization. Welcome back to the part 2 series of succession to success succession loop strategy. Because of a huge demand from, especially from the Middle East region and Africa region, we had to postpone these live wire from last week to this week, or this week weekend. It was a Friday, and we had to postpone it to Saturday because majority of you said that we please organize this live webinar on a Saturday. Now, this unique strategy can enable the organization to grow sustainably. This unique strategy can make organization leapfrog to the desired milestone you want to grow. This leap strategy or loop strategy can help organization to drive their business objectives and the milestones. Now, we have kept this loop strategy extremely very simple. This year, I'm writing a book on succession to success, which is almost in the finishing stage, succession loop strategy. And in that, I have also injected or embedded all the toolkits which you would like to know. But standalone, if you want to learn about and get this toolkit and do it yourself, the succession loop strategy, you are most welcome. You can connect to us, and we'll be very happy to share the succession loop strategy toolkit. And if you want to do the certification program, succession strategy certification program, we'll be very happy to share with you the content of the details. And if your organization wants to equip or train some of the talents in your organization and wants to make them increase their capacity to lead this succession loop strategy, you can contact us. We'll be very happy to build your capacity and to capability to manage this succession strategy, succession loop strategy very effectively. Now, before we go into little deep on what is succession loop strategy, by the way, we will not be able to cover the entire content of the loop strategy. We'll be covering the broad framework of the succession loop strategy. And if you would like to get more in-depth details about the succession loop strategy, and in this succession loop strategy, we have given the live cases where I have been a consultant, I have been an advisor, I have interviewed a lot of people, and I have spoken to a lot of CEOs that how they have successfully executed this succession loop strategy. I'll be very happy to share with you all through this succession loop strategy through this certification program. And I recommend very strongly, if you would like to build your capacity of your team, especially for the succession strategy. Now, let's see, in our last session, I had explained to you about how the succession strategy evolved. So let me take you through that again before we get into the brass tacks or the nitty-gritties or deep dive into the succession loop strategy. The succession plan initiative as such has started from 1970s, and it was known as a replacement plan. And then it grew into a succession plan in 1980s. Let me show you the So as I was talking to you and giving to you the details, in 1970s, the succession plan or succession initiative was known as succession planning. And the focus was on the top roles. It was based on individuals' experience and technical expertise, because that was the era where technical expertise was in a huge demand, and experience was regarded as one of the very big resource the person can bring and add value. Then the time scale, it was now immediately, because most of the companies were run in a family-owned business. A role of future leaders to provide smooth business continuity. They are identified by judgment of the CEO and higher apparent, because of most of the companies are being run by the family-owned business structures. What are the assessment? Then once you people have been assessed, they said, hey guys, hold on, and once your time comes, we'll let you know. And then transparency, it was kept extremely secret. Then came 1980s. In 1980s, it was the replacement planning became a succession plan here. Sorry, last it was a replacement plan, and then it was succession plan. And then the focus was on the range of leadership for the first time. And it was for the organization goal, and it was based on individual experience and competencies. The time scale was 6 to 12 months, and the role of the future leaders was on strategy planning. And What after the assessment and leadership development courses are planned and executed, they had to undergo the leadership plans and all. And transparency still till 1980s it was kept a secret. Then came 1980s, succession management. And the focus was on the pool of strong leadership teams. From the individual, it became the teams. It was based on the individual's competency for the top leadership roles. Time scale, it became 5 to 10 years. Role of the future leaders were responding to and leading change. And they were identified via assessment of line manager, peers, and the top team. What after the assessment? They had to undergo a very, very tailored development program, including job moves. We'll talk about the job moves in the form of job looping in the 2020s succession loop strategy. Transparency, it was agreed the first time in the history in 1990s onwards. It was agreed template of competencies, and feedback was provided to the individuals that, hey guys, you are a part of critical talent development program. And come 2020, we are calling it as a succession loop strategy. And now the focus is on people who are resilient, people who can make decisions while navigating the organization, teams, and for the individuals. It is based on individuals' attitude and individuals' career aspiration. Now here, individuals' career aspirations and the organization career aspirations are being aligned. Our time span, now we're calling this as 2 to 3 years time, because now all the people who are talent, they want to see the result within 2 to 3 years of time. And if you will put this more than 2 to 3 years, you can rest assured that this critical talent which you're planning and developing will move to the newer roles. And what after the assessment? One more thing. They have been identified by assessment and development center, and plus they continuously will be reviewed by the talent review committee. And what after assessment? They have been given a defined job roles. There's a job looping is happening. The performance link incentive has been planned. Coaching and mentoring goes into it. And the most importantly is it is time looped. So we'll talk about it a little bit more in our next slide. Okay. Now, these are some of the fallacies of you can say organization or individual leaders that some people feel and some organizations feel that succession plan is for the big organization. Oh my. Sorry, this is succession plan is for all the organization, be it a small, medium, and large. And most importantly, even if you are a family-owned business, you must plan your succession very, very carefully. There are hundreds of examples that if you have not planned your succession carefully, you're going to face an inevitable disaster in terms of business stagnancy or a business crash or business confusion. And at many a times, it has led to the extreme part of the business, that is bankruptcies. Now, some people, they feel that this is not the right time. We will do it next year. Today is the right time. You must all, CEO, board of directors, CHRO, business head, must use their skills and influencing skills to convince each other that the opportune time is today to launch your succession loop strategy. Next, some people feel that succession plan is only for the CEO. Well, CEO is one of the most critical talent, but he is not the only critical talent in the organization. We'll talk about it a little bit more. What is business critical talent? What is operational critical talent? Of course, yes, These are the talent. Eventually, one of them is going to lead your organization if your organization has planned your succession plan extremely carefully, diligently. They have reviewed them, looped them time after time, looped them with the job, and they have made sure that each of these critical talents are nurtured and they are being groomed for their potential roles. Next is, this is interesting, only HR is responsible. Well, HR is the custodian. He is not accountable. Accountability of the succession strategy lies with CEO, board of directors, shareholders, C-suite leadership team. These are the people or the incumbent of the critical talent, be it a critical business talent or operational talent or critical business talent. These are the people who are responsible and accountable for the execution and implementation, or you call it, and successful placement of the next incumbent on these critical roles. Some people feel that yes, we have designed a fantastic succession strategy, we have a policy, we have got procedures, we have got in a dashboard, fantastic, phenomenal, that's it. Sorry, this is not going to make your succession strategy an effective one. Each succession strategy needs to be revisited every quarter, every year, and every 2 to 3 year cycle, because in today's ruptured, volatile, uncertain situations, the organization need to change its course time and again, year again. So if the changing of the business course happens after 2 years time, 3 years time, of course your critical talents are going to change, right? You cannot have you cannot have your business critical talent which has been defined for the last 5 years, whereas your course of your business changes after 2 years or 3 years. So whatever the critical talent which you have planned, barring the CEO, at times even the CEO which you have planned must also have a different skill set if your business course changes, right? Now, let's see, very, very interesting, now the part which is, what are the key component of succession loop strategies and why we're calling it loop. If you want to if you want to know more in detail about this, why we're calling it loop, what is a job loop, what is a time loop and all, I recommend you to please connect with our team, and they will be able to help you to get you the toolkit and to help you to build the capacity of your team. We can give you the comprehensive details about the succession loop strategy. Now, these are the key critical talent for succession loop strategy. Number one, strategy. You need to take a strategy approach in order to design and execute and monitor or review your succession strategy. So when the strategy comes in, that means all the C-suite leader, including the CEO and the board of directors, they should be held responsible and accountable. And this should form the part of your business strategy. In our succession loop strategy, we use a lot of analytics, creating a forecasting, creating a scenario planning. Number three, this succession loop strategy which we are talking, it's global in nature. It has been benchmarked with most of the Fortune 500 most of the Fortune 500 companies, and many of them I have implemented and executed and been a consultant to them as a part of the succession plan and succession strategy. So these content, the toolkits have been benchmarked to them. Assessment, we have used extensive assessment and development center to develop these so-called potentials, critical talents for the critical roles. Number five is transparency. In today's world, especially in today's generation, you cannot hide and keep your succession or talent plan a secret. You need to explain to them, you need to explain to these young generation of future leaders that, hey guys, you are the one who's going to lead and drive the organization next 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5-year plan. But here with you, we have planned for you a loop plan of 2 years, a 1.5 year or a 1 year plan. This is how your job looping is going to be done. This is how your time looping is going to be done. And this is how you're going to be retained. And here your aspirations will be aligned with the organization aspirations. Next, policy and structures. In this toolkit and in this entire certification programs, we have explained how you should create your policy, procedures, structures, document each of these reviews and each of these feedback sessions. And the last one is, we have also shared in these toolkits how you can plan the development of these critical talent, not only for now, but down the line next couple of years. Next, let's see succession loop strategy stages. Now, in our while writing my book and all, and in making this toolkit, I had devised the 5 major stages of succession loop strategy. Number 1 is, why do you need strategy? How you can build up a business case, how you can create a case so that you can convince your top management, how you can bring on board your top management on board for your succession strategy, how you can make them part of your strategy team, how you can make them part and accountable part of your critical talent review committee. So we have documented everything in the details and all. Stage 2 is how to identify the business critical positions. In succession planning, we work for the positions, not for the individuals. Individuals are the incumbent who will be developed, groomed to take on these future business critical roles. And what all the operation critical roles are there? We're going to talk about these and how to differentiate and how to weigh that this is business critical role, how this is operation critical role. Number 3, how to speak to your various stakeholders and how to bring them on board and how to make them accountable, and even how to make the current incumbent of the business critical roles and the operation critical roles accountable and responsible to develop these critical talent. Next, how to design the succession loop strategy, then how to create the time loop, how to bring all the stakeholders involved in this time loop, how to make involve all the stakeholders, including the business heads and all, to be part of the job looping exercise. And then last, the 5th step is how to execute these succession loop strategies seamlessly and how to measure, most important, the effectiveness of the succession loop strategy. What are the key success factors are there? How to create the success stories, how to get the buy-in of not only the management and the shareholders, but also the people, and to how to create a level of trust, the level of confidence in these critical talents so that tomorrow they have a faith on you, they have a trust on you, they don't leave your organization, they are anchored to your organization, and tomorrow they become part of your larger talent. And tomorrow when you are left with a situation or a circumstance that you are one of the critical talent has left, you have a number of critical talent pipeline, people in the talent pipeline to take on these critical roles. Next, now I'm going to This session was for 30 minutes or so. I will be taking on all the questions if you have. From the way we have designed this succession loop strategy. This has been designed in a very, very interesting manner, and it has got these 6 major steps. First is how to create and how to make these top management leaders, top talent leaders, top leaders of your organization, key stakeholders of your organization, to bring them on board and how to make them share their accountability with you, okay, and to make this strategy or succession loop strategy as a top driven. HR must not take on the succession plan as their initiative. HR must be or play a role of consultant, advisor, and they should work as one of the responsible team members. They can take on a role of a facilitation role. The entire responsibility of the succession loop strategy must emanate from the CEO desk or a board of directors desk or a business owner's desk. Second, time loop. We have to create a time loop that by what time these incumbents will be made ready, or these critical talent will be made ready, and by what time this current incumbent has to leave or vacate their roles. If you do not have a defined timelines of a time loop, rest assured that after some time you will find this couple of your critical talent will leave or exit your organization for better pastures, whereas your current incumbent will continue to have all the similar skill unless some of your critical talent are so good, so high performing that you need to carry them for a couple of more years. But then in that case, you need to create a job looping for them, so that whenever you have created a talent pipeline, this talent pipeline continues to feed these critical roles, be it business critical roles or operational critical roles. Next is identifying these critical roles. All these critical roles must be rehashed and reworked on every 2 to 3 years because of the way the economy is behaving, the way the time is behaving, the way the uncertain, the volatile, the ruptured kind of environment we are facing in today's world. Next, we need to identify talent. These critical talent will be identified through our assessment center. They will be developed, and then in the next one is you need to create a plan how to retain these critical talents. And the last is, once you're planning a development plan for them, you create a job looping. We will explain these details in the toolkit. It's very, very interesting concept. We have got a template, we have got a concept, and you can replicate that and you can customize these job loops for your organization. And with this, all the 6 steps, we finish our talk or a small discussion on the succession loop strategy. We wanted to do this succession loop strategy as a part of Boston International Institute of Certification and Assessments. We believe in bringing to you the best practices, the good practices in the industry, and we try to bring the newer concept to you because we believe in now. Since I have finished my small little presentation and the talk on the succession loop strategy. So if you have any question or queries, I'll be very, very happy to take on the questions. I'll wait for a couple of time. Great to Kamis Al-Shoaib says, great to see change towards business trends. Kamis is a great friend. He is heading the one of very, very biggest organization in oil and gas company in Oman Oil. Let me see if we have some more comments. Fahd says thank you. Hello, I can join it. Yes, you are joining it. Yes, one of the question which is coming up is the personal question. It is on the chat box. Is how do you execute this loop strategy? As I explained to you, the process of there's a 6-step way of implementing this loop strategy. It is very, very unique than a replacement planning, succession planning, and succession management. In the sense, this is not for the very, very long term. This is being made crisp and shorter in view of the current situation. And believe you me, in the way we are going, this kind of situation is going to persist. This is the new normal for the business environment. And if this is new normal for the business environment, we need to customize, acclimatize, accommodate our initiative of the succession strategy by looping it into the time frame of today's situation and environment, and make it more effective and align it with the business strategy so that we can deliver risk-free and a sustainable growth, and our critical talent continue to add value to the organization, and organization never gets a void for having less number or no business critical talents or operational critical talents. So I wish you all the luck for those business leaders, CEOs, board of director, shareholders, and if you are planning to implement your succession strategy, my extremely best of luck to you. You are doing a great job. You are doing a great service for your organization. You need to continue that. But remember, in the changing times, you need to loop your strategy in such an effective manner so that they becomes in the defined time frame in the current business environment. Thank you so much. And it was great to talk to you and to present you this concept of succession loop strategy. I'm looking forward to my book release this year on succession to success, succession loop strategy. And of course, as I mentioned to you, that if you are interested to catch hold of the toolkit about succession loop strategy, do it yourself toolkit, this is the contact number. You can contact in this number, and then you can also write a mail to uae@bostonica.com. And if you are interested to build your capacity and capability of your team and yourself, you can also go for succession strategist certification. This is a very, very unique certification, customized, designed only for succession strategists. So people who are 10 years and above years of experience, who are planning to execute the succession strategy, or if you are a business owner, or if you own the family business, you can also contact us. We have the same customized to the family run business toolkit, and we'll be very, very happy to provide you. Thank you so much. And I'll connect back to you next week with very, very interesting live wire. Our live wire on the global career strategist continues. Last session, I got a feedback, very, very positive feedback, that we need to prepare some very, very customized small little YouTube videos We are doing that, and we'll be uploading that in our YouTube channel. You can follow us on the Twitter at the GSHCM, and you can follow us on the Facebook. You can follow us on YouTube, Bostonica channel, and of course, we'll be always there in the LinkedIn Live, bringing you the best of HR interventions and HR initiative. Thank you, and keep you. God bless to you, and see you next time then.